What's up guys, Pratima here. So in case you haven't noticed, it's absolutely raining smartwatches these days. Samsung kicked things off with the Galaxy Watch 5 and Watch 5 Pro. Google finally unveiled the long-awaited Pixel Watch, whereas Apple really wowed the wearable crowd with the $800 Apple Watch Ultra. So if you're in the market for a premium smartwatch, there has not been a better time than right now. But in the middle of all this, Amazfit also launched these smartwatches, the GTR 4 and the GTS 4 for $200. But unlike the rest of the competition, I haven't seen many people talk about these new Amazfit watches as much, despite their impressive feature set. Anyway, my team and I have been testing both of these smartwatches for over a week now, and in this review I'll be discussing all our experiences with the Amazfit GTR 4 and the GTS 4, including what we like about them and what we don't. Okay, as always, allow me to kick things off with the design side of things. One thing that I've always admired about Amazfit's premium smartwatch lineup is that you get to pick between a circle or a squared edge look without sacrificing any critical feature between the two. On the contrary, an Apple Watch sticks you with a square design whether you like it or not, while Samsung's Galaxy watches are only available on a circular dial. Another thing I like about their design is how clean they look. That means that I can wear it to a formal event or informal gatherings without the watch drawing any unwanted attention. Likewise, I've got both of them with these really cool nylon strap, but you can also find them with regular silicone or even a leather option for the GTR 4. And since Amazfit uses a universal strap approach on its wearables, you can swap it out with any of your existing or other third-party watch straps too. 20mm for the GTS 4 and 22mm for the GTR 4. These nylon straps are also pretty lightweight and comfortable. However, they are relatively more water absorbent compared to traditional rubber straps. So if you're someone who swims every now and then or just sweats a lot during workouts, you might want to go with other strap options instead. And this grey-red color mix on the GTR 4 strap is not doing it for me either. The golden brown theme on the GTS 4 looks quite attractive and frankly a bit luxurious as well, but I think this sporty look of the Amazfit GTR 4 is a big swing and a miss. But hey, looks are subjective anyway, so if you like it, that's great. For navigation, there's this familiar rotating crown on the right frame, whereas the GTR 4 has an additional button right below that, which can be customized to open any app you like. Okay, moving on to the display, the Amazfit GTS 4 stays true to its predecessor in every way possible. From the display size to resolution, pixel density, brightness level, and everything else. All this is to say that this AMOLED screen is undoubtedly a pleasure to look at. You don't need to worry about outdoor visibility on these smartwatches either, because they can get bright enough to accommodate you through harsh, sunny outdoors. Or they can get dim enough not to pierce your eyes when it gets dark. But unlike the GTS 4, the GTR 4 introduces quite a few changes in the display department. While the GTS 3 had this seamless, sort of flowy display, Amazfit has doubled down on the adventurous, outdoorsy look here by raising the screen above the bezels. It does appear somewhat tougher, sure, but I think it would have made more sense if it also had Gorilla Glass or Sapphire Glass protection instead of just simple tempered glass. When it comes to customizing the display, these Amazfit smartwatches let you choose from multiple color profiles, icon packs, and watch faces. There is no way to install watch faces from Google Play Store here like on Wear OS powered smartwatches, but I've got to say that Amazfit's selection of watch faces is pretty neat in itself, including some good animated, some customizable, and even some interactive options like this fishing one. You can also install apps and games from Amazfit's own app store here. Yes, the upgraded Zepp OS 2.0 platform on these smartwatches is loaded with a lot more mini apps and games compared to the first iteration of Zepp OS. But I guess I was expecting this app ecosystem to grow a lot bigger in the span of this 1 year, because the number of third-party apps here is still pretty limited. Thankfully, there is this Notify for Maps app, which I found somewhat useful considering there is no Google Maps for Amazfit watches. On the other hand, I am really fond of how fluid its UI and UX is. From all the animations to touch responsiveness, everything feels snappy here. And getting around its UI is pretty simple as well. You can customize the app tiles that appear on the sides, whereas the notifications and control center are laid out at the bottom and top portions respectively. Now, talking about notifications, they're not actionable like on Wear OS smartwatches, although Amazfit lets you send quick replies on a few apps like Messenger. But on multiple occasions, I've received app notifications way too late here. I had the same issue with last year's Amazfit watches too, so seeing the same flaws repeat yet again is rather frustrating. On the contrary, you can finally make and accept Bluetooth calls directly via the watch this time, something I sorely missed on last-gen Amazfit watches. As for the call quality itself, it's fine for casual phone calls. Let's now get into the health and fitness tracking features of the GTR 4 and the GTS 4. I've always been a fan of Amazfit's health monitoring abilities, and these guys take a step further with the new suite of features and the new Biotracker 4.0 PPG sensor. According to Amazfit, it takes 33% more data than the last-gen Biotracker sensor for more accurate heart rate, stress, and blood oxygen readings. And yeah, I am indeed getting better SpO2 readings here compared to how the GTR 3 and the GTS 3 scared me a couple of times with dangerously low blood oxygen measurements. Other than this, these smartwatches are pretty reliable at logging your steps and heart rate levels too. Amazfit says it has also updated sleep tracking this time, but based on my experience, they still fail to record my awake time every now and then. But when it comes to logging my time to bed and the time I get up, these smartwatches have been spot on all the time. To help develop a good sleeping habit, now I can also create a sleep schedule with the watch helping me follow through via notifications, smart alarms, and other insights inside the app. Furthermore, Amazfit sleep tracking now includes breathing rate as well, alongside light, deep, REM sleep stages, and sleep breathing quality. While the latter is basically a measure of your SpO2 levels throughout the night, sleep breathing or respiratory rate determines how many times you breathe per minute when you're asleep. Its normal benchmark for adults is 12 to 16 breaths per minute, and according to these watches, my average respiration rate is right in the middle. All this sounds pretty great, but I would have still liked to see a skin temperature sensor here for even more nuanced sleep tracking. Amazfit's one-click monitoring is yet another feature that's worth discussing. Instead of having to individually measure different health matrices, it can take your heart rate, SpO2, stress, and breathing rate records just in one tap. I do wish that this watch would log all this data somewhere, because as things stand, there's no way to view previous measurements for future references. Anyway, there's a lot to love about the fitness tracking capability of the GTR and GTS duo. You can track over 150 different sports modes, whereas the watch can detect 8 of them automatically. And if you're someone who likes to tinker with precisely how long, how intense, or how relaxed a workout should be, I'm sure you're gonna love all the options that Amazfit has thrown in here. You might know that I'm not a fitness freak by any means, but its interval training feature might just persuade me to be one. With this, I can customize my running, cycling, and a couple of other workouts with wrap-up and warm-down sessions, along with how long I'd like to train and how long I'd like to rest. And Amazfit's goal-based Pi metric should also motivate you to exercise more. It essentially rewards you with daily points based on how active you were throughout the day. I would have also liked to compare its real-time navigation feature by importing route files against the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, but Amazfit is yet to enable it via an OTA update. Same thing with fall detection as well. I am pretty impressed with its GPS tracking though. It is still off by a certain margin even when setting the accuracy to the best level, which could be due to the congested streets of Kathmandu, but it can latch onto a GPS signal quite fast, and the recorded workout trail is perfectly serviceable as well. Likewise, your health stats syncs with the Zepp app, which plays nice with both Android and iOS devices. And I also like how everything is well organized and easy to read here. Now, the battery life situation on the Amazfit GTR 4 and GTS 4 is pretty interesting. Both of them are fueled by noticeably larger batteries, but their claimed and actual endurance is actually lower than what their predecessor managed. This is likely because of the new Biotracker 4.0 sensor that takes your heart rate readings much more frequently and other feature upgrades as well. Still, the GTR 4 and the GTS 4 lasted me for like 7 and 4 days on average under my relatively rigorous usage. And when you need to charge them, the GTS 4 takes about an hour and 15 minutes to go from 1 to 100%, or roughly 2 hours for the GTR 4. So guys, there you have it, my full review of the new flagship smartwatches from Amazfit. As I've discussed all through this video, the GTR and GTS 4 offer a healthy blend of a classy design, a nice display, great battery life, and a bunch of health and fitness tracking features, all at a relatively affordable price compared to what other brands charge for their premium wearables. So if all these stuffs are something that you prioritize when shopping for a new smartwatch, then I am sure you're gonna love either of them. But as I mentioned in the very beginning, the wearable market is flooded with incredibly impressive smartwatches right now. And the biggest competition to these Amazfit watches is definitely the new Fitbit Versa 4. For just a couple of bucks more, it offers advanced health and fitness tracking features and an equally formidable battery life. Now, I don't mean to downplay the ability of these Amazfit watches to track your everyday health and exercises or anything, but the Fitbit Versa 4 is your best bet if you're serious about activity tracking. On the other hand, if you want a more versatile Wear OS powered smartwatch that can install apps from Play Store and such, then you can find last year's Galaxy Watch 4 series at some amazing deals right now. So guys, that was all for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Till then, I'm Pratima and I'll be back with another review very soon.